Good evening, good morning. I don't know if you can hear me. Someone can hear me, please let me know. I'm not a technical expert when it comes to these things, but if you can hear me, just give me a sign. Finite world. Hello. If you can hear me, just say, yep, I can hear. And if the sound's okay, bit of a sound check, I suppose. We're about 5 or 6 minutes away. Thank you very much, Finite. We'll get underway real shortly. I've got to have so many different windows up when I'm doing a quiz, and I get confused easily because I'm old. And there's Mr. Gainshall, quiz wizard herself. You can hear Mrs. Seeds in the background.
Hello.
It's only a comfortable 90 degrees here today. We'll get to about 100, 105, but we've got about a week of this. We had a week of it last week, got to about 114. But I'm sure that you're all cozy wherever you are. If you're in the US, I imagine you're rugged up with blankets, cat on each foot, the heater going, furnace blazing away, shivering next to the computer. That's how loud and clear you are. It's when I do my quizzes, I'm on my laptop, which one of my sons gave me. It's a gaming computer, and it doesn't have the best sound in the world apparently, but I can't be bothered. So it is what it is. 5 minutes away from the start of the quiz. Huge prizes tonight. Trip for two on board the Queen Mary going to Southampton from New York. That's really exciting. All you have to do is come up with the money to pay for the ticket, and I will point you to the website so you can book it. Magnificent prizes, like I say. Think about it. Cruising the ocean, 31 degrees. Ooh. I don't think my freeze is at 31. The quiz will start off tonight with movie questions. A lot of people tell me they like the movie questions. And then when they can't get them right, they tell me they don't like the movie questions. I can't see the room, so I don't know how many people are here. I imagine 1,000, 2,000 people will be here by now. Just kidding. We don't care how many people turn up. I was asked to do a quiz at this time, because when I do them at the time I normally do them, most people are asleep. But I know most people on the bottom of YouTube do not sleep. There's no chance of sleep. I mean, you might miss something. Lying in bed with one eyelid open, listening to the phone. Beep. Message goes on. Quick, wake up. I allow myself about an hour on YouTube most days. That leaves me 23 hours to do something else. And tonight, find out if you may like this, what we're having for dinner tonight. I make a homemade pea and ham soup, and it's delicious. And if you're in a cold climate in particular, it's a great bowl of soup to have nice and thick. I use yellow split peas and ham hock. Boil it to death for about 2 hours. Take the big fatty bit off the ham hock, scrape all the meat off, leave the bone in a bit longer. And think about pea and ham soup. When you finished it and you put it in a container and it cools down, you put it in the fridge. In the morning, it's a solid block because of all the gelatin in the pork, and it's absolutely sensational. It really is unbelievable. It's a recipe my grandmother used to make, and my mother. Very simple and delicious, particularly if you lived in a cold climate, as I did. I grew up in the UK as a boy, where it's not really hot all the time. It does get warm. I remember walking through a forest in Yorkshire where my grandfather used to live. It was about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. For me, at that time, I thought I was going to die. Now, 90 is the average temperature where I live. Every day. Day will get to about 105, I think. Got another hotter day coming. I think really it's about acclimatisation. You get used to where you live, or you die. There's two options. All right, we're a couple of minutes away from getting started. Again, those in early will get a clue. It is going to be questions on movies. So if you want to check now, get your Google board ready. I also made a nice chili beef, which I've frozen about 4 or 5 meals for myself later. Not hot, it's warm. Sometimes you can overdo the chili. I make my own chili sauce, so I can regulate the temperature. What did you have for dinner tonight, Finite, before we get started in a couple of minutes? What was on your plate that you sat down for to eat tonight? Just curious. Quiche. Oh, I like a good quiche. You throw just about anything into a quiche. Probably my favourite is onion, bacon, cheese, maybe a little bit of tomato on top, finished off in the oven. And of course, if you make a decent quiche, you can eat it for about 3 or 4 days. We are 1 minute away from the quiz. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start the quiz on this 6th of February. It's probably not the 6th of February where most people are, but it's the 6th of February 2019. So we're going to get underway. I have no idea how many people are in here. Welcome, chiming. We're going to begin the quiz right now. First question. Again, all these questions in the first section are about movies. First question. Which war movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 2009? Best Picture in 2009. Which war movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture? Year of the Pig. Actually, I'm born in the Year of the Pig as well. Happy Piggy Year to you too, Fino. So the question was, which war movie won the Academy Award for the Best Picture in 2009? Good answer, Pearl Harbor. Not the correct answer though. I watched this movie and I liked it, and then I sort of drifted a bit, but the concept was good. Another good answer is Saving Private Ryan, which is not the correct answer. 2009. Which war movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture? Yeah, they're good guesses. The Pearl Harbor, I think, was a little bit later, but I'm pretty sure that Saving Private Ryan was about the same era. Based on a true story, Saving Private Ryan, embellished a lot, of course, but true story. Question is, which war movie won the Academy Award for the Best Picture in 2009? Slumdog Millionaire. No, it wasn't really a war movie. It's mainly about someone in 7-Eleven that won $1 million. No, it's a good movie, Slumdog Millionaire. A feel-good movie. Charming and thinking a bit harder. Full Metal Jacket. It is so close to the name of the movie, as in it's not Full Metal Jacket. There is 3 words to the movie. It's the one that's similar, but it's got to do with, you know, defusing bombs. There we go, there's the clue. The movie was about defusing IUDs. And Finite World is correct. The Hurt Locker. I'm not sure about you guys. If you saw it, it was a bit. It started off okay, and then it got a bit, and then drifted off. But it was okay. But the Hurt Locker, definitely a different type of movie. You don't see many movies about disarming IUDs. Second question. Movie questions, of course. What was the name of the second Indiana Jones movie released in 1984? I like the Indiana Jones movies myself, but what was the name of the second Indiana Jones movie released in 1984? Oh, we count them, Finite. We count them because it's a thinking process. And like I say, the chiming in was close in the movie area of Full Metal Jacket, but it was indeed the Hurt Locker. So if you're an Indiana Jones fan, 1984, the second in the series of the movies was released. What was it called? Just like that. Just in front of Finite was chiming with the Temple of Doom. And in fact, Finite's got the correct answer if you want to be phonetical, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But no, chiming got it with the Temple of Doom. Good movies. But those type of movies really aren't made anymore, are they? Here we go. I'm pretty sure you guys are about my age, 104, so you should get this one. Which actor starred in the 1961 movie The Hustler? Great movie. Great movie. Which actor starred in the 1961 movie The Hustler? It's staggering to think. That's nearly 50 years ago. And you know you're old. I saw that in the theatre, I think. And yes, correct. Chiming in with Paul Newman. Probably one of the best actors, I think, that's been on the screen, Paul Newman. Very versatile. No, it wasn't Jackie Gleason. It indeed was Paul Newman. You're right with your first answer. Okay, next question. Here we go. If you know your Oscars and you like the Oscars and you watch them, here is the question. In which year were the Academy Awards, or Oscars, first presented? In which year were the Academy Awards, or Oscars, first presented? I want the year. The very first Academy Awards. Interesting what answers you come up with. 1925 is a good answer. It's not the correct one. And 1929. Oh, I tell you what, you were so close together. Chiming in just beats you, Finite. Indeed, it was 1929. The Finite World it came on the screen just about the same time, 1929. Of course, the era of the Great Depression. And we have a few of those era depression e-beggars on YouTube, don't we? Can you spare me a dime? Here we go. After all, tomorrow is another day is the last line from which movie that won an Academy Award for Best Picture in 1939. After all, tomorrow is another day. That was the name of the movie that won the Academy Award. That was the last line in the movie. Best Picture in 1939. Frankly, charming, I don't give a damn. I wasn't even born then. Oh, well, no, I don't want the actress or the actor. I want the movie. The last line in this movie, I don't need to go any further. Finite world with Gone with the Wind.
No, Charming got it before.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yep. I do apologise. My adjudicator is quite on the ball here. He's threatening me with a pistol. Chiming in, got it with Gone with the Wind. Another great movie. They don't make them like that anymore. Yes, Charming was ahead of you. That's quite correct. Question. Which movie features Bruce Willis as John McClane, a New York police officer taken on a gang of criminals in Los Angeles skyscraper on Christmas Eve? Which movie? Name of the movie. Bruce Willis acting as John McClane, New York police officer taken on criminals in a skyscraper in Los Angeles. And chiming in is on the ball. These aren't that hard questions, really. We all know these answers. You just need little triggers in our brain to punch it off. Chiming in is correct with Die Hard. What was that show Bruce Willis is in with that other big, goofy-head blonde lady? You know, the TV show. I can't remember what that was. Remember what that was? No. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the movies. Here we go. Question. What is the name of the Hobbit played by Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings movie? You shall not pass. That's it, Charming. Moonlighting. I remember that. What was the name of the Hobbit played by Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings movie? Oh, I don't know the Hobbits. They dragged that movie series to death. It was good movies. But they stretched it out over a decade, didn't they? What is the name of the Hobbit? Played by Elijah Wood in The Lord of the Rings. His best friend was Samwise Gamgee. Indeed, by finite world is Frodo Baggins. Frodo, stay away from the light. Now, I've never watched this movie. People say it's pretty good, but I want the name of the actress from this movie. Which actress plays Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games movie? Which actress plays Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games movie? Yeah, I like Charming. I like the start of Lord of the Rings, like the original. I liked Harry Potter at the start, and they just dragged them to death. Do you know what I mean? I'm not big on sequels. And the correct answer is Jennifer Lawrence in the Hunger Games. Well done. Here we go. This one you should get in like microseconds. If you don't get this in microseconds, well, it's a 20-second delay between me talking and you answering, so a micro 20 seconds, you probably need to leave. Judy Garland starred as Dorothy Gale in which classic movie? Judy Garland starred as Dorothy Gale in which classic movie? Should be a flood of instantaneous answers. You don't know it?
No.
Oh my God. Seriously? And finite world on the 20 seconds? Absolutely. The Wizard of Oz. Followed by a copying by Mystic Angels of Wizard of Oz and Charming, which I'm pretty sure was pretty close to having the correct answer without trying to copy Mystic Angels. Wizard of Oz. The wonderful Wizard of Oz. There's quite a few people on YouTube that remind me of characters out of the Wizard of Oz. You know, some without a brain, some without a heart. I shan't delve any deeper into that. Question. What is the name of the kingdom where the 2013 animated movie Frozen is set? What is the name of the kingdom where the 2013 animated movie Frozen is set? What's the kingdom called? Sounds like they pinched the name a little bit out of the Lord of the Rings, to be honest. Yeah, I thought Wizard of Oz classic, absolute classic. So we want to know the kingdom of the animated movie. Where was it set? Frozen was the movie. What was the kingdom called? Quick, wake up the grandkids.
Well,
you waking you up for, Grandma? Well, it's important you answer this question. Yes, and Finite World has the answer. Sounds a bit like Lord of the Rings, doesn't it, Arendelle? It's very Lord of the Rings in its name. Surely they wouldn't have pinched it. The hardest thing to do, of course, is to sit down with your grandchildren. I have 8 of them. And they're watching the show and they really expect you to understand what it's about. Of course, you nod and you smile and you go, oh yeah, you have no idea. You know, cartoons come on and they expect you to know all the characters' names. They pull up their little games and say, do you know what this Pokemon character's name is? They go, oh, I forget it at the moment. What's it called again? You'll be very diplomatic because grandchildren think you know everything and it's not true. All right, I like this movie. I like the original movie. Not big on sequels, like I said. Question is, which 1997 science fiction movie starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones tells the story of secret agency that polices alien refugees who are living on the Earth disguised as humans? And I'm not going to repeat that question. It just felt like I read a book. What is the name of the movie? And Dory Lamb, welcome, is correct. The answer is Men in Black. Again, love the original, and I don't know what you guys think about sequels, and there have been a couple of good ones. Godfather 2 is a great example. But most of the time, they disappoint, and because I think you're after the same surprise, same enchantment that you got from the first movie, and it doesn't happen because you're familiar with the characters and all that sort of thing. Okay. This one you should get as well. It's pretty easy, this one. Question, in which 1984 science fiction movie did Linda Hamilton play the role of Sarah Connor? Pretty easy, really. She used to drive a Jeep, remember? Blonde hair, flying ponytail. What was the name of the movie? Science fiction movie. And I didn't have to go any further. Chiming in has it with I'll Be Back. Terminator. Again, highlight my point. I love the first movie. You knew what you were getting for the remaining ones that came out. I'm pretty sure before I die there'll be Terminator 19. Redemption Road or something, I don't know. This one I expect you all to get very quickly because I know that you were alive when this one was on and it's put the fear of God in you ever since. Question, which classic thriller movie starring Roy Scheider as the police chief Martin Brody? What is the name of the movie? That's the theme song to Boyd. And chiming in gets it with Jaws, followed by Mr. Gainsel with Jaws. Quite correct. Again, highlight my point. How much fear did the first movie Jaws put into you? And then we've got, I don't know how many Jaws movies that just failed to meet the test. Mystic Angel didn't cheat this time, is what she's saying. She's saying she didn't copy, but the word cheat is really what it is. All right, I love this movie. It probably dates me a little bit. Question, which 1952 musical comedy tells the story of three performers making the transition from silent movies to talkies? I'll read it again. Which 1952 musical comedy tells the story of three performers making the transition from silent movies to talkies? I love this movie. One of my all-time favourites. Swung around the pole there. And Mr. Angel gets it. She has a 20-second advantage over all of you, of course, because of the lag. It is Singing in the Rain. One of the greatest movies, I believe, that was ever made.
Yeah, but that's not helping me with answers.
What, my humming?
No, just because I hear the questions first, but I haven't known any.
Oh, that's right. My wife says she has a 20-second lag in her brain, so she's equal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we watch on movies and televisions, but these questions can throw you sometimes because it's like, you don't really look for that. I'm talking about this question, you know what I'm saying. Which English director was responsible for the epic movie Gladiator in 2000? What is the name of the director? I fail on most of these questions because I can remember the actors, the songs, all those things. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to the director, I go, So the question is, which English director was responsible for the epic movie Gladiator and running across the field of corn? And Charmin is correct with, I don't know. No. Finite World has the correct answer. Ridley Scott. I know what movies the directors have made in hindsight, but it's pretty hard to come up with names like producer or director. Of course, Ridley Scott was responsible for some magic movies, 80s and 90s, for sure. Now, I'm pretty sure you're all going to get this answer very quickly. Very quickly. Question, in which movie did Julia Roberts play a kind-hearted prostitute called Vivian Ward? Which movie did Julia Roberts play a kind-hearted prostitute called Vivian Ward? And I knew you'd get this one, they're all flying in at the same time. Finite World was first, just ahead of Dora Lynn with Pretty Woman. Walking down the street, Pretty Woman. And Johnny P comes in with the correct answer to the question I'm going to ask in a week. It's time from now. Edward Scissorhands. Well done, Jacob. Right, now you should get this one. These are easy ones. This is finishing off the movie questions, but they seem very easy to me, mainly because I've got the answers in front of me. All right, the question is, who played Jack Dawson in the 1997 epic movie Titanic? Every night in my dreams. Question is, who played Jack Dawson in the 1997 epic movie Titanic? The name of the actor. Oh, I'm going to give it to Johnny P because he can't spell DiCaprio. Johnny P first with Leonardo, which could be a turtle, I know, you know, but we'll give it to Johnny P. Leonardo DiCaprio, who has made quite a lot of, he's been lucky in many of the movies, let's be honest. A lot of actors end up with a few duds along the way. I think Leonardo has been quite fortunate. Most of what he's been involved in has turned out quite successful.
Takes too long to type.
Charming Hen says, takes too long to type. You need one of them voice things. Alexa, answer for me. Yeah, there's a go. Question, which Tom Hanks movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1994? Which Tom Hanks movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1994? Life's Life amongst childhoods. Cut and paste chiming in. Top Gun, the incorrect answer from Johnny P. And Mr. Gangel has the correct answer. Big was a good answer, but it's not right. It is Forrest Gump. No point retracting it, Johnny. I've got it recorded. Forrest Gump is the correct answer. Another excellent actor, Tom Hanks. Very, very good actor. Question. Now, brilliant actor, this person. Question is, who was the first African American actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor? Who was the first African American to win the Academy Award for Best Actor? And it's not from the movie you would think it would be from. This actor played in movies such as To Sir with Love. Pellegrino Belafonte is not correct. Eddie Murphy is not correct. Chiming in has the correct answer.
That's right.
With Sidney Poitier. Yeah. Brilliant actor. Dory got it correct. Was very close behind chiming and also finite. Great actor. Superb actor. And he has always been very selective of the movies that he's been involved with. Now I'm going to go to a different section. And this section says easy trivia questions. It's interesting. Easier. Are you mad? Right, I've got to try and minimise that down a bit. There we go. Well, these are relatively easy questions, which is unfortunate because I have an audience of highly intelligent people. Please don't take that as a derogatory thing that I'm asking you easy questions. I just expect you to be a lot faster than the dumbasses. Question. Which fictional city is the home of Batman? Robin, you're not wearing any clothes. I know Batman. I'm your outsider. Which is the fictional city of the home of Batman? Chief, can you see the sign? And Johnny P, first in on my screen. Yes, I'm a little shocked, with Gotham. Gotham City. And phonetically spelled out by Mr. Gangers as Gotham City. But I think she threw in another bit of the word that wasn't required. Doesn't matter. And I know this one because I competed at this when I was a young Pitborough young man, 12 years ago. Question, in which sport would you perform the Fosbury Flop? Hello, Denny. In which sport would you perform the Fosbury Flop? And it's exactly how I used to do it. I used to give it a good flop. There wasn't much competition. I was really tall when I was at school and I beat everyone by about a foot. Diving is the incorrect answer. In which sport would you perform the Fosbury Flop? Doradine says golf. Chiming in says swimming, but Finite World, with the correct answer, followed by Mystic Angel, is high jump. It's high jump you do the Fosbury Flop. Easy questions coming up. Question. Spinach is high in which mineral? Seriously. Spinach is high in which mineral? Popeye used to eat spinach. Johnny P eats spinach on the Gold Coast in his training centre for elite athletes. Question is, and the answer is, chiming in just beat Mr. Gangel with iron. You can have too much iron, believe it or not. You do need iron in the body. As you get older, you tend to have a deficiency of it. But you can't have too much. Too much is not a good thing. Of anything. This one you should all get. Hopefully we don't need this one in the future, but the question is, what is the Geiger counter used to detect? What is a Geiger counter used to detect? No, it's not used to detect lying on YouTube, though it would be handy to have a counter to do so. It would always be going off. Constant ringing. And the answer is, from Finite World correct, it's radiation. A Geiger counter. Guess the name of the guy that invented it was called Geiger. How you going, Geiger? Yeah, good, mate. Stupid, no. Yeah, I know. Your mother's. Question, which type of dog has breeds called Scottish, Welsh, and Irish? What is the breed of the dog that has names Scottish, Welsh, and Irish? Good night, Dory. Setters is an answer. It's not the correct answer. But there are indeed Scottish and Irish setters. Wolfhound's another good answer, but it's not the answer. Clue, ankle biters. There's your clue, ankle biters. What dog has breeds called Scottish, Welsh, and Irish? Jack Russell's, no. You know those annoying little furry things that, yep. And Finite World is the correct answer, with right up his clacker, which is not unusual for Johnny, is the correct answer of terrier. Terrier. They think they're the size of a mammoth, terriers, and like little chihuahuas will come at you and think, I'm going to kill you. You get one chance to leave and I'm going to kill you. It's funny watching chihuahuas and terriers. Their bodies get so stiff that you pick them up and they're like an enamelled cask of themselves. They just, I'll kill you. Old ladies tend to have chihuahuas and terriers, but I like chihuahuas. All right, here's a question for our American friends, which I'm sure Johnny would know the answers to this. Yep, chiming, finite, you're both getting time out. You're asking far too many questions. Question, Babe Ruth is associated with which sport? I would have got this like that. Babe Ruth is associated with which sport? It was too easy, wasn't it, Finite? A legend of the game, absolute legend. And Finite was first, ahead of Mystic and Johnny P. The rest couldn't answer because he's got him in timeout. Smart move, one way to win the prize. Now this one is a question to do with history, but you know your history, famous people, of course, you know the answer. The question is, who is known as the Maid of Orleans? Not New Orleans, Orleans, in France. Who is known as the Maid of Orleans? Orleans. Who is the Maid of Orleans? In the end, here's a clue, they barbecued her. A martyr. Who is known as the Maid of Orleans? Wasn't Big Bertha? Finite World's quite correct, and they did toast her. Her name was Joan of Arc. There's a few people on YouTube that act like they're the Joan of Arc from time to time. Not mentioning any names. Okay. All right. Question. What was Muhammad Ali's birth name? Easy. Did you get this one? What was Muhammad Ali's birth name? Like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And Johnny P answers in Czechoslovakian. Kusas na krikuku. But I'll pay it, because the answer is indeed Cassius Clay, and he did get claimed just before Finite jumped in with Cassius Clay. So you've got that one, Johnny. Probably don't need to time that many people out there, really. Correct answer was Cassius Clay. Great boxer. We all remember the rumble in the jungle. Question: which Roman emperor supposedly fiddled while Rome burned? Easy, really. Which Roman emperor supposedly fiddled while Rome burned? That's if you know your Roman emperors, of course. Mad as a cut snake. Mind you, most of them were into bread, living in B-class families 2,000 years ago. Bears were made of stone. The answer is indeed. Finite World has the correct answer with Nero. He got pissed and played the flute while Rome burned. Yeah, she'll be right. We'll build another one tomorrow, mate. Don't worry about it. Well, on your screen, unfortunately, it doesn't count because my screen is the one I get the answers on. She's contesting you, Finite. My wife's saying, oh, it's this. Not on my screen, you won't. All right, you'll all get this one. This is easy question. Which crime-fighting cartoon dog has the initials SD on its collar? What? Which crime-fighting cartoon dog has the initials SD on its collar? Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Come on, it's easy. Used to be in a band with a red-headed nutter, skinny bloke. Which crime-fighting dog has the initials SD on its collar? Come on. Come on.
They've got legs.
Oh, okay. Chiming in says, I don't know. Johnny P says, Snoopy? No. I'll pay it to Mystic Angel, even though it's not correct. Oh, right, mate. Scooby-Doo. Ah, Scooby-Doo. She had the answer, but it just, fingers, you've got 9 thumbs and 1 finger. Very hard to type. Scooby-Doo. This question's asked at quiz nights all the time, I think. So you may get this one, or you may have to get something out of the draw and count them. Question: what is the total number of dots on a pair of dice? What is the total number of dots on a pair of dice? All scrambling for the third drawer in the kitchen. Oh, they're fucking in here somewhere. Jeez. Right, there for them. Oh, here they are. Chiming in says 4, incorrect. Right. Finite World says 42. I have a feeling Chiming actually thought that word, the number 42 was typed, I think. Let's see if Chiming is going to own up that she skipped the 2 by mistake. The Finite World is quite correct with 42. Mr. Angel comes in with 2. Go back to the class. Become disrupted influence and class. Move back. Sit next to Johnny Depp. Yeah, with his fucking dogs. Poor old Johnny. Gone down to Gerber now. No more pirates. Girl there from that. Right. They booted him. Easy question. Traditionally, how many wonders of the world are there? Traditionally, how many wonders of the world are there? Let's just ponder that for a moment. Let's add 2 and 2 together, Josh. 2 and 2. And the answer is correct by Johnny P, who must have slipped on the keyboard to come up with the number 7, which is correct, right up his clapper. In a reverse roll was Finite World with 7. And Chiming says, I never win finite. Fair enough. No worries. This question tricks so many people. It's an easy question, but it tricks so many people. Well done, Johnny. Question: which planet is the closest to the Earth? Which planet is closest to the Earth? It tricks people. You think it's something else automatically, but it's not what you think, Jimmy. So which planet is closest to the Earth? Chiming in looks down for an answer and comes up with Uranus. It's incorrect. Probably Johnny's anus is closest to the Earth, but it's not a planet. It's really just a small asteroid. Mercury is not the correct answer. Mercury is closest to the Sun. The Moon is not the correct answer. It is indeed the closest planet to the Earth, but it's neither of them. Think about it. Chiming in says Lamau. I've never heard of planet Lamau, but it could be out there. It could be that one we can't see that's causing disruption. Johnny P comes up with the answer Mars, which is the most common mistaken answer to this question, but Finite comes up with the correct answer, Venus, which there's no chance of living on Venus. It's way too hot. But it is indeed closer than Mars. But I read a survey once that most people answer Mars because it's always in the headlines. Who wants to go to Mars, by the way? It's not a quick trivia question. If I said to you tomorrow, and say your goodbyes to your family, and you will be not coming back, but going to Mars, how many of you would go? My answer is I wouldn't go, to be honest. Like the idea of the adventure, but no, I want to see my family. Well, yeah, they can create all the air and water you need. Yeah, I think we could probably nominate people, JP, if we could nominate a few. All right, off that one, drift down a tangent for a moment, which is unlike me. Oh, the other day I went fishing and thought, no, here we go, back to the questions. Question. According to the old proverb, to which European capital, city, do all roads lead to? That's an old saying. According to the old proverb, to which European capital, city, do all roads lead to? Johnny says she's staying, I ain't going nowhere. You take the damn suit off.
What was the question?
The question was according to an old proverb, which European capital city do all roads lead to? And Finite is the correct answer. All roads lead to Rome. I'm watching Nero play on his flute while the bloody place burns down to the ground. I don't think that the man in the van would know the answer to this question because there's no idea. Here's the question. On which mountain did Moses receive the 10 commandments? First commandment was thou shalt not Google the answer. On which mountain did Moses receive the 10 commandments? There were 15, but he slipped. And the correct answer is from Finite World. It is indeed Mount Sinai. Johnny P says the Blue Mountains. Jonas says Ararat, but he's that sort of guy. Ah, interesting. So if you get this one, these are general knowledge questions. Question, which is the tallest mammal? Could we conjecture here, but this isn't the tallest mammal, sorry. Which is the tallest mammal? Name me the animal. Just a bare necessity. Nah, it's not there. It's singing. And the correct answer is there. Very close. Chiming in was just ahead of Johnny P. It shows in your screen, reverse Johnny. It's not true. It is chiming, so don't time her out. Welcome, Jonas. Johnny gets a bit trigger happy when someone tweets. They will send you abusive emails or something. He always sends his emails. Oh, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to find you, I'm going to beat you up, and then he signs it Johnny P. Anonymous. Here we go. Question, which sign of the zodiac is represented by the ram? Question, which sign of the zodiac is represented by the ram? If I only had a ram. And very quickly, very fast. Finite world with Aries. Mr. Ganger with Aries. Chiming in with Taurus, which is load of bull. The answer indeed was Aries. The 12 signs of the zodiac. This is my slight whinge on the fact here. G'day, Leroy. 12 signs of the zodiac divided into 7.5 billion people means on any given day, let's be honest, about 900 million people are going to have the same day. The same thing's going to happen to 900 people. They're going to get the same lotto numbers as 900 million people. Really?
JP's cheating.
JP's cheating. What's he doing? After remove his nature, thank you. It's Leroy. Yeah. Zodiac signs. They'll get paid enormous sums of money to go into magazine glebes and leave their remarks about each sign of the day that's going to happen to you. What a load of crap! Seriously. Question. Mount Everest is found in which mountain range? Mount Everest is found in which mountain range? Not country. Spans across several countries, but which Mount Everest is found in which mountain range? What's it called? Way up north, they've got a name. Wind and rain and fire. No, Leroy, it's not the Andes. You're a continent adrift, afraid. And Johnny P is the correct answer, just ahead of Johnny P with the Himalayas, which I believe Johnny P is going to raise funds for St. Jude's by walking naked through the Himalayan mountains. He just needs a couple of Sherpas from YouTube to carry his sacks. I'm not sure how much he'll raise, but I feel sorry for the Sherpas myself. Question. What is the name of the fairy in Peter Pan? And it's not Johnny P, right? So don't put that answer. What is the name of the fairy in Peter Pan? Come on, you all know it. What is the name of the fairy in Peter Pan? And bang, bang, very close together. Fine Art was on my screen first with Tinkerbell. Very close with Tinkerbell was Chiming. Leroy came in with Tink, which I think is his donation into some fund. 2 Bitcoin went in at Tink. Tinkerbell, indeed. Johnny says, only need one to carry my sack. We'll get someone small and nimble to help you out there. All right, again, this is what I said earlier for those that weren't here. It's hard to remember the name of directors in movies, but you might get this one. Who directed the movie Jaws? Who was the director of the movie Jaws? Nope. Scorsese is a good answer, but it's incorrect. But it's good if it was an answer related to a Scorsese movie, but it's not. So it's not really a good answer. Leroy, seriously. Who directed the movie Jaws? See how we don't take much notice of those things when we watch movies? We recall actors and scenes and what was said. Finite World with the correct answer is Steven Spielberg. Very close behind was Johnny P with Leroy Jenkins, the director. John has got Spielberg in the end, and Chiming got Finite got it. That's correct, Steven Spielberg. He made lots of movies.
How do you say it?
Scorsese.
No,
Steven Spielberg.
I thought you said Spielberg.
Well, say it any way you like. Say it in Japanese if you want it. Spielberg-san. Question. Now, I'm sure a lot of the people on the e-begging side of YouTube will get this answer very quickly, because the answer is very funny. But they know it. How many strings does a violin have? You beggar, answer like that, because they're always playing the bloody thing. How many strings does a violin have? And the answer by John Scott is correct. 4. There are 4 strings. There are different implements that look like violins that have 5, 6, and many others, but the answer to the violin is 4. This answer by the e-beggars of YouTube would have been, oh, that's too easy. There are dozens on the back of the van. Well, I used the brown one today. Oh, where is it? Where's my fucking brown violin? Oh, it's Nick. Oh, it's under me, moo. There it is. Righto, I'll use it. Question. And this could represent the name of a man in a van as well, or an old lady on a bed, or some fat bugger on a boat. Would be a very appropriate name for them. The answer is. Question is, what was the Hunchback of Notre Dame's name? What was the Hunchback of Notre Dame's name? And he came at night time because he feared to be seen by the people. Would it be ideal he beggar's name, let's be honest. Igor, good answer, wrong. Appropriate though. And chiming in, copying Leroy with Igor. JP with Leroy. Oh, that was close. Come on. The Hunchback of Notre Dame's name was... Come on. Lift your game. Seriously. I think Lon Chaney played the best role of this character in the movie, Lon Chaney. What was the Hunchback of Notre Dame's name? Marshall was close, but Finite eventually gets it. Quasimodo! Which is a perfect name for an e-beggar. They only come out at night time, and they fear the public, if you get my analogy. John Georgie's on a roll here, Stephen, Mick, probably all very close Quasimodo friends of the JP. A lot of strange people on the Gold Coast. Easy question, I expect a fast answer. Question. What colour is on the circle of the Japanese national flag? What colour, Banzai, is the circle of the Japanese national flag? Don't mention the war if you're upset. Righto. How you going, Link? Yeah, good. Still looking for a woman. Don't care if she's breathing, but don't matter. And the answer fired off by everybody at the same time. JP on my screen was first ahead of chiming in with Red, Leroy. They all come up at the same time.
Where have you seen me?
You are last.
What, you never mentioned my name.
I'm meant to. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're 6th.
Well, it doesn't matter. Still mention my name.
I haven't finished. Fine. Do you want to take over? No, I'm going outside for mate. Over to you. See ya.
Because I get it right. I never mentioned.
Have you finished your little spat now?
Yes.
Have you?
Continue.
Have you finished?
Continue, or I'll time you out.
We've only got 10 minutes to go on tonight's quiz. Of course, the prize is amazing. It's trip 2 in the Queen Mary, going from New York Harbour to Southampton, reliving like a Titanic trip for about 7 days. All you have to do is pay and fund for the trip yourself. I will give you the phone number to contact to book it. Fantastic prize. Never been done on YouTube before. Question. Okay, this is a great question. Question. In Greek mythology, who turned all that he touched into gold? And Z is not the answer. He turns it into gold. In Greek mythology, who turned all that he touched into gold? It's called the something touch. And first on my screen is Leroy Jenkins with Midas, the Midas touch. With people on YouTube, they can turn anything into crap. They're experts at it. 9 minutes to go in the quiz. Who's leading and the opportunity to go across the Atlantic aboard the Queen Mary? Push for faith yourself, but still, It's an adventure. Question is, how many sides does an octagon have? How many sides does an octagon have? Not a pentagon. That's only one-sided. Joke there. How many sides does an octagon have? Answers flying in. And on my screen again first is Leroy Jenkins with superior Canadian technology. John was right behind with timing and finite, Johnny P, and last was Mr. Again, John.
Yes. You got live chat on?
Yep. All right, these are easy questions to finish off the quiz. The question is, which part of the body would a chiropodist treat? Which part of the body would a chiropodist treat? No, it's not your tallywhacker. Don't put them answers in. What part of the body would a chiropodist treat?
Trust Johnny P. That's it. Time him out. Lock him.
If JP had to go to a chiropodist to check his dong out, it'd be a short visit. The answer is by Jonas K. first with feet. Mr. Ganger was second. Up the rankings now. Flying along. I have two more questions for you for tonight's quiz, and then I'm done. I generally don't go more than an hour. Second last question is easy. What is the name of the city where the cartoon family The Simpsons live? What's the name of the city? Joe? What is the name of the city where the Simpsons live? And this name of the city and towns around the world is one of the most common, believe it or not. And Leroy Jenkins on my screen is first with Springfield. John was second with Springfield. JP came with Springfield. Mr. Angel came in with Springfield. So, yes, if you Google it, you'll find that Springfield, I think in the US alone, there's 40 of them. Something ridiculous. And around the world, there's hundreds of thousands of Springfields for some reason. Why is it common? It's an old terminology. When you, in olden days, we come across a spring in a field, you build a city around it. That's the historical part of why it's called that. For the very last question of today, you should get this. This was in another question I asked earlier. But question is, the last one of the night, the title role of the 1990 movie Pretty Woman was played by which actress? The title role of the 1990 movie Pretty Woman was played by which actress?
I can't think of her name.
Ella Bella.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay, even though you didn't get the surname, I'm certain you meant Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts played she played an awesome hooker. Well, thank you very much for coming tonight. I enjoyed the quiz. I was asked to do one at an earlier time because I know most of you people in the US like to go to bed about 5 in the morning. You get up at 6 so you don't miss anything on YouTube. But thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I don't care. I had fun doing it and I hope you had fun playing along. I think overall the winner of the magnificent trip for two from New York to Southampton on the magnificent ship is indeed Johnny P. Johnny, the number to call is 1-800 Who Gives a Rat's Ass, and just pay for the ticket, and when you get there, send me a postcard. For the rest of you,
Johnny P's not having himself.
Oh, you want to remove?
Send the girls. They all go together.
Well, all of them?
Yep.
All right. I just want to check your bank balances before you go online to that number. And it should be fantastic. You know, you could play croquet on the deck. I said deck, D-E-C-K. And you could drink your wiles away on the poop deck. Whatever you do, Johnny, if you go on board, don't poop on there. Hope you all can find another venue to go to now. I'm sure you won't be yelling and screaming and abuse and attacking people, because you're not that kind of people. So again, thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.